What's going on, guys? Andrew Pillick Hockey here, back again for another video. Another day, another suggestion or trade rumor regarding, if I could speak English, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, thank you guys so much for the support lately, and if you are new, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. We talk about NHL trade rumors every single day. Yesterday, I talked about the Jets and the Leafs, and I want to continue to talk about more NHL teams. So if you have a suggestion or want me to talk about a specific player or team, make sure to leave that in the comments down below. But like I said, make sure to subscribe and like this video if you like the content. So I did want to talk about Josh Manson because it's a hot name that everybody has been talking about for the past couple of years, because Josh Manson fits the mold of what the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for. A guy that plays pretty steadily on the back end, throws a bunch of hits, can put up some points, and comes in at a reasonable cap hit. And obviously that checks a lot of boxes, but we have to look at what his perceived value is and what his actual value is. We kind of have to think about that collectively, me and you and everybody out there, and maybe give some suggestions on what the Leafs could give up or what they won't give up for a guy like Josh Manson. And I'm sure there's a bunch of you that would actually just pretty much trade the farm for him, but I'm here to tell you guys that with discussions that I've had with Downtown Stephen Brown, make sure to go and subscribe to him, Downtown Sports, and the research that I've done myself. I mean, we're not NHL GMs, but we have pretty decent opinions when it comes to this stuff. The price for Josh Manson might be a little bit lower than what people are expecting, and the Leafs might also have a chance to get creative in a trade to acquire Josh Manson. But before we get into more details, let's look at his career stats. Just looking at some of the numbers. Now, this year he didn't get in a ton of games. He only played in 50. Of course, the entire league didn't play in a bunch, but he had some injury troubles, and he was out of the lineup quite a bit, and he had a very down year in terms of production. He had 9 points in 50 games played. Now, a lot of people will look at that and go, oh boy, that's pretty bad. And they look at the plus minus, even though I'm not a big fan of the plus minus statistic. He played on a pretty bad Anaheim Ducks team, and he's not exactly known for a guy that's going to put up a ton of points. But that 9 points in 50 games definitely brings his trade value down a little bit, because while he also lacked in production, he also lacked a little bit in his own end. Josh Manson throws a lot of hits. He does block shots. But at the same time, there were some games, and again, this isn't just coming from me as a Leaf fan, just talking to people that I know that watch hockey even more than I do and are able to watch games, and even Anaheim Duck fans themselves had said that there were some games where Josh Manson looked a little lost. But in a season where everybody had a little bit of trouble, of course, obviously something that turned the NHL upside down, which we won't talk about, it's going to screw a lot of people up, but he also dealt with the injury bug as well, so you have to give him the benefit of the doubt there. The year before that, 16 points. The year before that, his career high in points with 37. So you can see he does have the opportunity to put up points on that Anaheim team, but he might put up more with better players surrounding him. But he's mostly known for the fact that he's a little grittier. He isn't afraid to drop the gloves. He's going to go out there and defend his teammates, and that's something that the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for. He's a solid top four guy, and if he can stay healthy, he's definitely very valuable. Now, I want to take a look at his contract, because his clause details player submits a 12-team no-trade list, because he has a modified no-trade clause that kicked in. So basically, if the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't on that list, then he ain't going nowhere. He's not going to Toronto. If the Leafs are on the no trade list, which means he doesn't want to go there, he's not going to get traded to the Leafs, of course. But who knows? Who knows what his list looks like? But $4.1 million for a top four right-handed shot, gritty style defenseman. Now, I'm gonna just say this right off the bat, and Downtown Sports has said it as well. Like I said, make sure to go subscribe to him. He is not better than Jake Muzzin. There's stats to back it up. His physical play, everything about it, Jake Muzzin is a better overall defenseman. The Leafs acquired Jake Muzzin for quite a bit. They sent a pretty, sizable package that included a first-round pick. But are you going to have to give up that much for Josh Manson? I don't know if it takes that much. Now, hear me out. Let me say that again. I don't think it takes a first-round pick. I think that the package would revolve around a second-round pick, a very good prospect, and then a secondary piece that goes in there as well. I'm not too sure that it takes the farm to get Josh Manson. I know it will take a lot, but I'm not going to be giving up the same amount that I gave up for Jake Muzzin for a guy like Josh Manson. And again, there's a lot of other videos that will prove that, not just Downtown Sports, but there are other people out there that are saying the same thing, and I happen to agree with them. And like I said, just before I made this video, just doing my own research, you just kind of see the numbers don't add up, and Jake Muzzin is the better of the two. And you're hoping that you can get Josh Manson for the lesser than what you gave up for Jake Muzzin, and that honestly should be the case. The only difference is that you're getting a really good defenseman for pretty cheap, $4.1 million. And depending on how that's perceived around the league and how high Anaheim wants to, put their price out there, he could be fetching quite a bit. And also, here's the other thing that I need to mention. Anaheim might just not want to give him up. They might not want to give him up. There's other options that the Leafs could go with. Maybe they try to acquire the Ryan Kessler deal to put him on LTIR, which I don't think that's what they want to do because of, in-season trades. Maybe they're not interested in some of the Leafs forwards like an Andreas Johnsson. Maybe they're not even interested in picks, even though they should be because that team needs to rebuild. And I'm sure that's what they're on the path of. But maybe Josh Manson is their centerpiece. Maybe they don't want to get rid of him, but I happen to think that in order for them to acquire extra pieces, they're far away from being a good team, that he's going to fetch you quite a bit. Maybe not as much as they want, but he's going to get them a ton in terms of value, because a second round pick is very valuable, a good prospect is very valuable, and who knows, if a secondary piece works out for you and that guy turns out to be a pretty good player, then you have a good package. And again, that could include an Andreas Johnsson as well in there. So again, you guys can bring up whatever trade proposals you want to. I'm just giving you guys some names to throw out there. Again, I'm not saying this is 100% what's going to happen. Now, I wanted to bring up this page here, and it's Toronto Maple Leafs hit leaders. So look all the way to the right side, and you can see the hits that's in gray. And it shows that Clifford, of course, was number one, but Jake Muzzin was the highest Toronto Maple Leaf in terms of hits, with 109 hits in only 53 games played. Then you got CC in like 55, 56 games played. Sorry, the numbers are very, very small on my screen. 92 hits for him, and then the list goes on. Justin Hall, 89, Dermott, 76. So, they threw some hits. They threw some hits. Then you look at Anaheim here. They had a bunch of guys that threw a lot of hits. Now, keep in mind, a guy like Rowney, who had 71 games played, obviously got a chance to throw more hits, but he's very physical. Look at Josh Manson. 50 games played, he had 113 hits. So the guy did not play a full season, but he was out there tossing bombs. He was throwing hits. He was, blocking shots, although he wouldn't be first on the Leafs in block shots, I'm pretty sure. I think there was a couple guys ahead of him there. I think he was in the 60s, but again, in a full season, he might be up towards the top. But the guy throws hits. He's physical, and that's what the Leafs need. They need another guy like Jake Muzzin who's going to go out there, throw hits, play good in his own end, and you're hoping that Manson can continue to build that and get better as he goes on and playing in his own end. And he's going to give you big minutes. So that stat right there automatically screams, okay, the Leafs need a guy that's sound in his own end, under a good contract, and is able to be physical. Because there's only so much you can get from, a smaller player. And again, I'm not saying smaller players are not physical, but they can throw hits. A smaller player can throw hits and be physical, but you want that bigger frame guy who can give you the impact that you're hoping for. And I'm not saying go out there and injure people, but you want them to feel it. You want them to be afraid of you after you leave that corner. And there's only so much what a guy like Andreas Johnsson or a Kapanen or any of those guys that are former Leafs or current Leafs could do. So, again, I think Manson would be a welcome addition to this team, but I'm going to have to bring it up again. What is the cost for a guy like Josh Manson? What are you giving up for a guy that only gave you 9 points in 50 games played? What are you giving up for a guy that is good in his own end, but is he elite in his own end? Which I do not believe he's elite. I think he's very good. I don't believe he's as good as Jake Muzzin. And I'm sure Kyle Dubas and company feel the exact same way. So they would be going into these types of talks, and again, hypothetical. I'm not sure if this is even a possibility. And I'm not really sure where Manson would be on their list in terms of who they want to go after. But Jake Muzzin is where you go, okay, this is what we gave up for him. Here's what we're willing to give up for Josh Manson. And if Anaheim isn't okay with that, and if they don't like that type of deal, then you move on. And it's unfortunate because I think he'd be a very good fit in Toronto, but at the same time, you're not trying to break the bank to go after a guy like this, especially when there are options in free agency. You can get a Dylan DeMello who's definitely fantastic in his own end. You can get a Radko Gudas who will give you the physical end of things. You can get both of those guys for free. You don't have to give up anything except for money, and the Leafs have money now that they've traded away a guy like Kapanen, and they're going to have more money when they trade away a guy like Andreas Johnsson and maybe even a Pierre Engvall, maybe a Justin Hall if they want to bring in 2 right-handed shot defensemen. They'll have plenty of money for guys like DeMello and Gudas. So people who are saying the Leafs will not have money for those guys, if DeMello and Gudas get more than 3.5 each per year, then somebody is giving them way too much money. I do not believe those guys are going to cost you more than $3.5 million. Gudas definitely shouldn't. He's a $3 million guy in my eyes for a 3 or 4 year deal. DeMello is probably worth a little bit more. The max you would give a guy like DeMello is $4 million, and even then, I think that's a little bit too much. So if the Leafs are able to make a trade for Josh Manson and it doesn't break the bank, and then they're able to go out there and sign another guy for that bottom pairing, then they're probably going to be laughing. But again, I want you guys to give your thoughts down below. Is Josh Manson an option? Do you think it's a good idea? Let me know. Thank you guys. Love and appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all for stopping by this channel. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.